Welcome to this meeting of the Westborough Select Board. It's Tuesday at 6 p.m. here in Memorial Hall. If you are so able, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
All right. Typically, we start with open forum, but we have a special event this evening. Our chief is here, and he is presenting his department and specifically the promotional swearing in for Corporal Nicholas Anthony and new officer introductions. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you. Good evening, Todd Minardi, your police chief. Thank you for allowing me to be here before you today. This evening, I'm going to introduce some of our newer officers, and we have a swearing in for Nicholas Anthony, who's going to be getting promoted to corporal. So from my right, your left, first we have Officer Daniel Farrell, who joined the police department in April of 2025. He's originally from Milford, Massachusetts, where he grew up with 5 siblings and 2 dogs. He attended Westfield State University, earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 2024. While at Westfield State, he was also a member of the football team. Before joining WPD, Daniel worked as a 911 dispatcher for the town of Milford. That experience gave him background in public safety communications and helping people during emergencies. Next, we have Officer Timothy Goddard. He joined the Westborough Police Department in May of 2025. He grew up in Northborough, where his family still lives. He is one of 5 children and is an uncle to 2 nephews and 2 nieces. Tim earned his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Liberty University. He then attended Linfield Police Academy, graduating in November before beginning his law enforcement career with WPD. Then we have Officer Samuel Hanson. Samuel joined the Westborough Police Department in June of 2025 after returning to Mass earlier that year. He was born and raised in England and then later moved to Franklin, Massachusetts. He attended the University of New Haven, Connecticut, where he earned 2 bachelor's degrees in criminal justice, one in investigative services and one in national security studies. He also worked as an EMT basic while in college. After graduating in 2020, Sam worked in Louisiana with the New Orleans Police Department and the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Department. He served as a field training officer, a member of the crisis intervention team. He also received a Medal of Life-Saving, as well as command level commendations and several letters of commendation and life preservation. He recently became a field training officer with the Westborough Police Department. Next, we have Officer Hannah Lima, who joined the Westborough Police Department in December of 25 after serving with the Boxborough Police Department for about a year and a half. She is from Boxborough, where she has lived her entire life. She attended the Boxborough schools before earning a bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in criminology from Framingham State University. She later earned a master's degree in criminal justice and criminology from Northeastern University. She attended the police academy in May 2024 before beginning her career in Boxborough. Then we have Officer Ian Flera. He joined the Westborough Police Department in March of 26, beginning his law enforcement career in his hometown of Westborough, where he's lived his entire life. He graduated from the Westborough High School, continued his education at Westfield State University, where he graduated magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a minor in political science. After graduating in 25, Ian self-sponsored through the Quinsigamond Community College Police Academy. He completed his 6-month academy and graduated at the top of his class with the highest GPA. Congratulations for that. And then if we can have Officer, soon-to-be Corporal Nick Anthony step forward. Thank you. Officer Nick Anthony is being promoted. What's that?
Thank you all.
Nick Anthony's being promoted to the rank of corporal. Nick was born and raised in Natick. He graduated from Natick High School, attended Keene State College, where he earned his bachelor's degree in occupational health and safety. He later earned his master's degree in criminal justice from BU with a concentration in cybercrime. He began his law enforcement career after graduating from the Boylston Academy in May of 22. He first served with the Chicopee Police Department before transferring to the Westborough in October of 22. Since joining the Westborough Department, Nick has served in several areas, including crime scene unit, field training, and community engagement team. The promotion follows a testing process conducted through Hanahan Consulting, LLC, an outside public safety consulting company. The process included testing in criminal law, juvenile law, motor vehicle law, Westborough Police Department policies and procedures. And the candidates also completed an internal evaluation by department supervisors, an internal interview board by members of the command staff. Corporal Anthony finished first overall in the process, reflecting his preparation, professionalism, and commitment to the department. So congratulations to them all, and congratulations especially to Corporal Anthony. And if I could have the town clerk come forward at this time to swear him in. He will be pinned by his wife, Sophie.
I, Nicholas Anthony,
I, Nicholas Anthony,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as a police corporal
as a police corporal
for the town of Westborough,
for the town of Westborough,
according to the best of my abilities
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
and understanding,
to the rules and regulations of the Constitution,
to the rules and regulations of the Constitution,
the laws of this Commonwealth,
the laws of this Commonwealth,
and the bylaws of this town.
and the bylaws of this town.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, please come up here, take all the pictures you want. We got plenty of time. Bring your families up.
Let's do it. Thank you for joining. Yes. Sorry. Please, sir.
We'll get out of the program.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
I'll get one with them.
Yeah,
Please.
All
Go ahead, please, go ahead.
Come on.
Whoever wants to be it.
You want all of us?
Jump in there.
Sure.
Want a picture of the board?
Yeah.
Can we get a picture of the board? Yeah. No. Kate, do you want to get it? That was a nice touch with the siren.
Timed it just right. All right, come on, everyone, let's go.
That whole tall guys.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Congratulations again. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. A little different, yeah.
We still got ours.
Hey, Mark.
I didn't. Just timed it. Nice.
Yeah.
These are the enjoyable parts.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It's
Yeah. Hey, Chief, thank you for bringing forward your new corporal and the newest members of your department. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, thank you. Next, we have open forum. And it's based on our new policy, although not much changes, I don't think. But do we have anybody here for open forum? Joanne, yes.
Hi, Joanne Aramini, 7 Meadow Road. I see on your agenda tonight that you have an item about amending the open forum policy, and I'm hoping that when you are in that discussion, that you'll be able to provide some clarification for the public. At the last meeting, you guys updated your open forum policy because the planning board, it all came about basically because the planning board refused to let the public have an open forum opportunity at their meetings. We paid money to get an opinion from town council on that. And as I understood the discussion last week, that the opinion said that all boards and committees in the town needed to provide an open forum for the public. And I know that you had talked about distributing that policy, and I think that you did because I watched meetings after, and they all talked about the open forum and included it, except one committee. And guess who that is? The planning board. They had a meeting last Tuesday. Open forum was not provided for the public, and there was not even an agenda item to discuss open forum or a policy. So I'm wondering where we're at with that. Because again, we paid for a decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any others for open forum here this evening? Okay. Next, this Friday, we are celebrating the 250th anniversary of this great country, and we have members of that committee and our police department to come talk about the event.
Hi, everyone. Roberta Sylvester Brown, 3 Washington Street.
Roberta, if you could just lower that right down so it's right in front of you. There you go. Thank you.
You can't.
Speak right into it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, we
No,
might be able
I'm
to
not
hear
gonna
you, but
yell.
we want everyone to hear you.
Okay,
This is important stuff.
it is.
Yes.
So thank you for having us. So I wrote a little thing so I can brief you all on it. It's fast. Good evening, Chair and members of the Select Board. On the behalf of Westborough 250th Anniversary Committee, I'd like to provide a brief update on our planning efforts. Our committee continues to work closely with the Recreation Department, town staff, WPD, DPW, public safety officials, volunteers, and our block party partners to prepare a safe, family-friendly celebration of America's 250th anniversary. Our main event will be held on Friday, June 26, 2026, beginning at 5:30 p.m. at Bay State Commons. Highlights includes a reading of the Declaration of Independence by John Arnold, a march into Bay State Commons by VFW 9013, Gary Gregory portraying Benjamin Franklin at the 250th anniversary information table, family activities, historical displays, and educational programs. A firework finale at Bay State Commons at 9:15, presented by America Thunder Fireworks. We appreciate the continued support of the Select Board and look forward to sharing additional updates as plans continue to come together. Thank you. The 250th American Revolution Committee.
Roberta, thank you very much. Any questions? Yeah. We also have members of the police department here, I think, to talk about some of the logistics.
Yep. Be helpful. A great job by the committee, too. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Excited. Thank you, Roberta.
Hello again, Tom Minotti, your police chief. I will just, I'll begin the conversation, but members of my staff, Deputy Chief Tompkins, Lieutenant Luce have been working diligently on our ops plan. We're still finalizing some details, but I'll have Lieutenant Luce speak briefly to some of our operational plans as far as traffic and pedestrian safety, which is really our main focus is going to be pedestrian safety in the downtown area. Just to let you know, we have restricted Friday for no days off. We've called in a lot of staff. We've been fortunate to fill all of the details or overtimes that we've requested. The staff's really stepped up. Probably at least 3/4 of my department's going to be working Friday night, including myself and the deputy and other members of the command staff. So we hope it's going to be a successful event. There's a little bit of unknown, obviously, for all of us. We've never really done this downtown before, so we've called in a lot of people. We're going to be ready. We hope the weather cooperates. So with that, I will turn it over to Lieutenant Luce.
Good evening, everyone. Let's see if this works as easily as I'm hoping.
Look at that.
Just like you planned.
Good day. Okay. So again, Cliff Luce, Lieutenant with the Police Department. One of the major factors that we're looking at, obviously, is parking in the downtown area and getting people into Bay State Commons. Obviously, the people that are on the side streets are going to be having parties, get-togethers, whatever the case may be. So we just want to make sure that everyone's safe, enjoying the block party and the fireworks. The picture that you have in front of you is our rotary. The blue diamonds that are indicated there are roundabout positions for our detail officers to assist with pedestrians and traffic before the start of the block party, during, and after the block party is completed. You'll see on Union Street at the top on East Main Street, a red line there. That's the hard block off, which will be started around 3:30 in the afternoon. We're going to block that off. That section of Union Street is where the food trucks go. So that's the first things that come in. So we'll just make sure that that's blocked off for everyone to be safe there. On the bottom side of Union Street by Boston Interiors, towards the bottom, that's also a hard block off right there. Again, that's our kind of our safety area so that everyone's in there. The red line on Brigham on the other side, again, that's a hard block off. If people on 500 Union need to get into their garage, obviously we're going to have a detail officer there, so they'll be able to enter and exit from the garage, and also utilize parking on top of 500 Union on the outside. To the right on Ware Road, which I didn't know that was the name of it until Google Maps pulled it up. On Ware Road, you'll see two red lines there. At the conclusion of the fireworks, our plan right now currently is to close that off, to set the lights to flash by Westborough House of Pizza to assist traffic going in and out of town. And anyone leaving by Ted's Montana Grill in that area, you're only going to be able to take a right. And again, that diamond all the way to the right-hand side, you're going to be able to take a right onto East Main Street so that we alleviate some traffic going into the Rotary. Obviously, there will be traffic in the Rotary, but if we can bounce people off that way down East Main Street, they can take Lyman onto 9 or however to get back to where they are. That will hopefully alleviate some of the traffic issues in the Rotary. Again, as we've said before, you go to a Patriots game, you're going to sit in traffic for a long time when the game's done. It's the nature of what it is. We're unsure of exactly, as the chief said, what the turnout is going to be like for this. However, we just urge residents and people coming to be patient when exiting at the end of the festivities. One of the other things that we're calling attention to is any of the streets in downtown. There should be a social media post coming out relatively soon from the police department. Streets that are downtown that are identified as no parking, there's signs that say no parking on the side of the street. We're enforcing that. We're also enforcing a parking on the even side of the street only. So if there's no signs, if there's no parking on this side of the street signs and the street's wide open, we're having parking on the even side only. That keeps the roadway open for emergency vehicles if we need to get down there with police, fire, ambulance, whatever the case may be. We're going to set up cones with no parking on it as well, just to assist people, just to remind them about that. But we're pushing something out every single solitary day, just reminding people about that as well. Also, the parking behind the Community Advocate on South Street, town parking back there, high school, and other locations. So I think that about covers it. But again, we're just going to push that out every day just to remind people about it.
Thank you. Lieutenant, thank you.
I would just add, we've had conversations with the rec department, the DPW, the fire department. The fire chief's going to be pushing out a code red notification as well, probably twice this week, maybe tomorrow and maybe Thursday or Friday morning. With that, we're going to advertise the parking restrictions again. That's one of my biggest concerns is, bottlenecking some of the side streets to make sure emergency vehicles have access. So we're going to keep them clear. We're working on bringing in some outside resources from SUMLEC, mainly the motorcycle unit. Be a great asset for an event like this. So there's some other preparations going on behind the scenes as far as our command post and some other preparations we're making that I'm not really going to publicize, but trust that we're working diligently to make this a successful event. Be happy to take any questions.
Chief,
Thanks.
thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah, so I did hear that we had at least one call go out through the what do we call the system? What is it called? Code. Thank you. There's one that went out. I don't recall that it spoke to if it says no parking. I didn't hear the even side parking, so let's just make sure that that's clear. It sounds like a great plan. Appreciate that. The details that you've laid out, and I would imagine there's a lot of other details that you're not sharing here appropriately that are underway. So hopefully it's a safe and fun night for everyone, including your team.
Thank you. Absolutely.
No, I have no questions.
Yeah, Chief, I'm just, there's several private driveways that lead into Bay State Commons. Are those going to be restricted at all? I'm just worried that people are going to try and, get in there through
You like by the community building and stuff?
By the
I mean,
sugar shack or
yeah.
to the food pantry?
We generally haven't had a problem with those in the past, running the block party.
Okay.
We'll look at it as it progresses. If we start to see, an influx of traffic with people trying to get in through there, we can restrict it, but we haven't had a problem with that in the past. It'd be difficult for them to get into anywhere to park, through accessing those alleys, because it's mostly gonna be cut off anyways,
Okay,
around the block party event itself. So.
okay. And then my only other question, are you gonna be in the dunk tank again?
I was asked, but unfortunately with my recent shoulder surgery, I had to decline. I'm still going through physical therapy, and so yeah,
Picked the
not,
right
not
time.
this year.
We could just have like a hose, right? You could just stand
I
there.
know
That-
you'll be there, Shelby.
Yeah,
I'll see you next
they
year.
asked me, not
Yeah.
this year.
Next year it is.
Yeah, next year.
That's, I think I'll like it.
Yeah, Chief, thank you very much. Yeah, it is. I don't know that any of us can predict exactly how many folks are going to be here on Friday night. So, what does they say? Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But thank you for your preparation, you and your team, and looking forward to a safe event on Friday.
Yeah,
Fun
absolutely. Like I think the lieutenant said, just people need to have some patience. That's all.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say that as well we know you're going to be prepared. Just ask our residents. This is a fun event. Fireworks, people are really excited about it. We've been asked a lot about having that, but I ask that our residents and visitors, friends of yours that have come in, just to be polite to everybody, be polite to our public safety. The fact that you're bringing in so many officers, and I know others in town are doing that. Just be courteous to everyone there, and we'll all have a fun time. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
I did have, actually, when you, are we using, I know DPW has sort of the mobile signs. We obviously have some others. Are we utilizing any of those to notify about parking? Is that part of the plan?
So there's a sign on the Rotary now. The issue becomes with those signs that they only have so much time to read them driving by. So I'm not sure how much they actually programmed
point.
to
Yep.
be on that.
Yeah,
That was our hopes. I'll have to check with the fire chief as far as the code red
Yeah, no, you're right. It's not like,
announcement, and we're trying to push it out on social media.
Yep. Okay, thanks.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
And one other thing I would mention, the fireworks are actually being shot from another location. That is not a location that anybody should be going to.
Correct.
Right? And police will be there to inform you of that, is my understanding. So the viewing location is the center of town.
Exactly. And as far as any other parking lots along East Main Street, those are privately owned parking lots. We're not encouraging people to use those. If the property owners, allow that, that's up to them, but,
Use the public ones.
right. Side streets, public parking spots, whatever you can do. I know a lot of people even park down West Main Street and walk, so that's why we're gonna have a strong presence in the Rotary. We're gonna have scene lights at all the crosswalks to make sure there's plenty of visibility, and, my biggest concern at this point is pedestrian safety. That there's gonna be traffic, so, there's nothing we can do about that. I just wanna make sure all the people walking are gonna be safe, so that's our main focus.
Make sure it doesn't rain, will you?
I wish I could do that.
There is, I don't think we addressed it earlier, but there is no rain date.
Can you speak?
There is no rain. So it'll be moved to next year, probably. Or
Yeah.
Right.
we'll see what we do.
No, we're going to be fine. Guaranteed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And yes, so folks, when you get there Friday night, thank the officers who are there to protect you and helping to organize that event. And there's a table for the 250th Anniversary Committee, and you can stop by and thank them as well for all they've done for this effort. Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated.
Thanks.
With that. Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay. Item 4 is the Otis Street project update. Our Public Works Director.
Good evening, Chris Bant, Director of Public Works. Providing an update on the Otis Street project. So just to refresh on the scope for that project, at the Route 9 Otis Street intersection, there's going to be some pedestrian improvements, some traffic improvements. If you are familiar with the Lyman Street and Route 9 intersection, it'll be very similar feel as to what's there. Then you progress south to the Target entrance on Otis Street. We're going to install a signal at that traffic signal at that location. And then along the western side of Otis Street, which is the Hakamaka Amazon side of the street, there'll be a shared use path, which is 10 feet wide. It runs basically from in front of the Arrive Apartments all the way south to 50 Otis Street, which is just before you get to the Hakamaka Pond. So that's the gist of the activity. So the project started. If you go out there right now, you're not going to see a whole lot of activity. It's because there's really kind of spot work that's happening. So utility poles that are being relocated, trees that are being trimmed and removed, other utilities that are being relocated, erosion control measures that are being installed. There's some boring that has to happen over the next few weeks. So really probably not till the end of July is when we'll see real like equipment out there and construction activity happening. And that's intended to start right now at the southern end of the project. So at the Hakamaka end of the project, where they'll start the shared use path and then work their way north to the intersection. There will be some activity in the intersection over the summer, but the traffic signal installation is likely going to be next spring, and the project is expected to complete next summer. That's where we are.
Okay. Any questions?
I think I just wanted to repeat what I said at the issues last meeting, and I know Chief stayed for this, just to make sure that enforcement on Fisher and Art Street, because I expect to see increased traffic on those streets, people that aren't used to driving those streets, possibly speeding on those streets. So I just hoping that we can look at those streets during the duration of this project as some place that we need some enforcement.
Thank you.
Just a follow-on question to that. We do have, for people that subscribe to like the website newsletters or agendas or whatever they're subscribing to, is it possible to utilize that list to provide notice of various street closures? Like, do we have that ability to use, using this project as one example, like clearly these folks are people that are interested in what's going on in the town. They might not be everyone. They might not even travel on Otis. But I'm just thinking that might be a tool.
Yeah, I know the DPW uses our Facebook page, so those posts can also be sent out through town news, and that's our largest list of subscribers.
Okay. Yeah. So I think if we can do that, periodically as to updates that are going on. It was mentioned to me, separate topic around what's going on over at Bowman, and just kind of that some of those street closures would be helpful. So just using this opportunity to ask that question.
Chris, I seem to remember, but maybe I'm mistaken. Are there going to be, you mentioned the light at Target, but are any other driveways being relocated to match up on both sides? So everything that's there now is staying as is. There's some widening, I imagine, as you get closer to Route 9, similar to what was done on Lyman Street. Is
Yes,
that accurate?
correct.
Okay.
And there's widening at the Route 9 on the Otis Street portion of Route 9, and that's to accommodate an additional turn lane, which is kind of the friction point that causes a lot of congestion up there. So yes, there's a little bit of widening, and then that's the extent.
And then similarly, there'll be crosswalks, like there was a crosswalk put in at Lyman Street.
Yep,
and a
all four
crossing light.
corners will
Okay.
have crosswalks.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Director Payne, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Item number 5 is Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission advisory regarding temporary expansion of alcohol service hours and establishment of public consumption areas. This was a pilot program associated with the World Cup. I think this evening we're just sort of going to review, I think, what it actually means. So we have an understanding. To our knowledge, nobody's requested any
Sean,
relief.
I'm going to recuse myself because I own a business that holds a liquor license.
Thank you, Shelby.
Well, this is coming just in time for Friday, right? Just kidding.
Do you want me to?
Just kidding.
So the governor signed a bill that allowed this temporary allowances by opt-in by the community. So one thing that communities can do is they can allow everything you hear on the news is that everything can stay open till 3 a.m. That's actually not the detail of it. The detail is that you could allow a liquor license holder to stay open 1 hour later. So depending on what their liquor license already says, it's 1 hour additional. And then also you can designate public areas for alcohol consumption. You have a letter in your packet from the chief giving his thoughts on that. When he and I discussed it, you already have a process established for folks to consume alcohol on public property. So I haven't provided anything in your packet in terms of an option other than the process you already have in place. But to what Sean just said, we have not received any requests for this. We wanted to bring it forward because it is a short window that it's available to the town, but you would have the option, you have the options laid out in your packet, but you could have the option of sort of blanket doing these things. To the chief's letter, there was, you might want to actually review them more individually. So you also have the option of when someone comes forward, you could call a meeting within 48 hours and take that up. That's kind of similar to how we approached the outdoor seating allowances under COVID.
Thank you very much. Thoughts? Yes.
Yeah, I think just so the public knows, this pilot program only goes, I believe, through July 31st, 2026.
Yes.
So
I
from
think
now
at the
it's
end of July.
Yeah, so it's basically just over a month. The point, no one's come forward. I have not heard it personally talked about. I also know that many of our kind of establishments in town with liquor licenses today do not typically stay open until what their license allows them to do. So personally, I don't see a need for us to do anything at this time. If somebody does come forward, we can evaluate it then, but personally, I don't see a need for us to adopt or change anything that we have at the present time because I don't see that there's been a demand for it.
Thank you, Ian.
I have no idea what goes on after 9 p.m. in this town. But I agree with you. I mean, we can reevaluate if there's somebody looking to do a watch party or something, something like that. But for now, I don't really see the need to take any action.
Yeah. I think, Chrissy, thank you, for making us aware. And I think also this is just an opportunity to educate folks because I think some people thought that then this just allowed all bars to stay open until 3 a.m. And no, it's just an additional hour beyond whatever your current liquor license allows. But agreed, I don't see a current need for this. And if someone had, wanted to come and make a case, we could consider it a future meeting. Although I guess our next meeting is currently July 21st. So,
But we could always call one if we thought it was
Yeah.
important. The chair could make that determination.
yeah.
So it's all on you.
Got it. Got it. Thank you very much. So I think we can keep this item brief.
Yep.
Good. Okay. So on to the next item,
Come
Shelley.
on back, Shelby.
Our next item is related to interdepartmental transfers. So these can happen during the final 2 months of a fiscal year, May and June. So we have this as a standing item, and this really being the last meeting currently scheduled that this could happen at. These are, we do have several cleanup items, and I will hand it to town manager.
Sure. So all of these were approved by the finance committee because it does require both committees to approve, and they all approved all of these at their meeting last night. So actually, I'll let our finance director speak to them because departments have been working with him on that.
While you're getting ready, thank you
Sorry,
very
John.
much for the memo. That was really helpful versus just the actual transfer notes.
John Steinberg, Finance Director, thank you. There's a number of transfers coming tonight, many of them from salary and wages to expenses, just to address where those funds come from. Frequently, when transferring from salary and wages, it's due to either retirements, vacancies. In some cases, like the Board of Health, it was a position that didn't get filled, as well as the town manager's position. And so sometimes we hire at a lower step, so that can be what frees up some funds. And we want to use those within these transfers to cover expenses so we're using tax dollars within the fiscal year that were approved for expenditure. The first one is $15,000 from the library salary and wages to police expenses. Police expenses incurred because of new hires and additional training, something that is impossible to predict as to what experience and training new hires will require. I know this past year we put a couple people through the academy as well.
I think we met them.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Do you want to go one by one? How do you want me to go through them all?
Yeah, then we can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Next one, Finance Department expenses, $10,000 from finance salary and wages to expenses. This is to cover an appellate tax board case appraisal. As we've discussed in the past, we have many appellate tax board cases. One of the exposures that we have with so many large properties is large appeals. And so when we can't come to terms at convincing them that our values are correct and they should just take our values and go away, sometimes we have to get appraisals. This will get us the first phase of the appraisal. These large appraisals can run $10,000 to $30,000. It's not uncommon for us to only need one phase. A lot of this is about providing a objective income approach and see where we're far apart or not far apart. The next is for the legal budget, $10,000 from finance salary and wages to the legal expenses. I think we've discussed legal expenses a lot over the last year or two, and so this was some unexpected higher final bills related to easements primarily and other expenses like with the Otis Street project. Veteran Services, $6,000 from Board of Health expenses to Veteran Services. These funds are available because our Board of Health does a good job at passing as much of their expenses on to the Greater Boroughs grant. As long as that grant continues to get renewed, we can benefit from that. And so they don't expend their budget, which is helpful. And I think Kim can answer some questions if you have questions about the Veteran Services. And the final one is for the insurance budget. This is from 4 different departments for $89,000. The Board of Health, $19,000 from salary and wages. Community Development, $20,000 from salary and wages. Library, $25,000 from salary and wages. And Town Manager, $25,000 from salary and wages. And just to speak to the individual departments, the Board of Health administrative position that was reinstated after we took on the WRTA revolving account, the Board of Health administrative position was unable to be filled with the qualified candidate, so those funds were available. Community Development, we had a longtime employee who was at the top of the pay scale retire, and so with some absence before we were able to fill that position and hiring at a lower pay rate, we benefit from having funds available there. The library had some reduced salary and wages given the temporary location, as well as they had still carried a custodian, which wasn't filled since they've been in the community center. And the town manager had the analyst position, which went unfilled as well. That's all.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yes. Just specifically on the insurance budget, I do understand from the packet that this is perhaps so it's regarding unemployment assistance, right? That's why we're doing the transfer, is that correct?
Gonna speak to
I'll let Kim answer
Okay,
so the insurance.
thank you.
So within our insurance budget, we have a number of significant expense lines. We have our unemployment insurance, we have our medical insurance, we have our property casualty liability insurance. So that's one of our more significant budgets. Typically, if there is an overage in any one line, we're able to potentially cover it from another line. This year, we've had extraordinary expenses in unemployment that we're unable to cover because we're running tight on the other lines as well. Our unemployment bill comes to us monthly, and we pay dollar for dollar based on the benefits that are received by claimants. We don't participate in a more traditional provide a quarterly premium. So it can be hard to predict. There are a number of things that can happen. We can have an employee who leaves during a probationary period because they're not performing. They are eligible. We have individuals who resign, and there are situations where even though it's a voluntary resignation, they're eligible. We also have situations where employees fail to meet requirements, licensing, other things like that. We also had a situation where when we had a reduction in hours, when we made budget reductions, individuals whose hours are reduced and either leave or have fewer hours are eligible. So we had a number of those things happen this year that resulted in the higher than average overage. Typically, this also, I want to mention, this account does cover both town and school employees. So that's about 1,000 employees in total. Just a count, we're talking about 19 individuals. And there's a lot of variability in how long they're on unemployment. Sometimes it's quick. So
Yeah, thank you. That was exactly what I'd hoped for. Just how many employees and the scope 1,000 to 19 is helpful. Thank you.
Any other questions, motions?
Do you want to handle it one at a time?
Or we could do them all if you want. And
Sure.
unless somebody wants to signal one out.
No?
Nope. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks, John.
Do you want me to do it? Or? Yeah. Okay. I'll move to approve the interdepartmental transfer. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. To move $15,000 from library salaries and wages to police expenses as presented. To also approve the interdepartmental transfer to move $10,000 from finance salary and wages to finance expenses. Further move to approve the interdepartmental transfer to move $10,000 from finance salary and wages to legal expenses, and further to move the interdepartmental transfer to move $6,000 from the Board of Health expenses to veteran service expenses, and finally, to further move an interdepartmental transfer from the insurance budget of $89,000 from salaries and wages as follows: Board of Health $19,000, Community Development $20,000, Library $25,000, and Town Manager salary and wages $25,000 to insurance expenses in the total amount of $89,000.
And that's all as presented, right?
All as presented.
Second.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. John, thank you again. Next, we have a presentation on the decarbonization roadmap with our sustainability coordinator.
So we're early, but you're all set? Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for being here early.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, thank you all for having me here tonight. My name is Lila Ahmed, Sustainability Coordinator. This is going to be just a brief presentation on the decarbonization roadmap and a climate leader update. So here is our climate leader checklist. This is the program that we are hoping to apply for as soon as possible. Right now, Westborough is a green community, and the next step is to apply for the climate leader. program. So this is our sixth and final step to create and approve a municipal decarbonization roadmap. I'd also like to point out that since 2018, when Westborough did become a green community, Westborough has received $657,000 in funding. That's through our competitive grant funds that we've been applying from that program. So we're hoping just to unlock more funding opportunities from the Climate Leader program. So the importance of becoming a climate leader community, Massachusetts climate goals ultimately do depend on strong municipal action by Westborough and other communities like us. By pursuing this designation, Westborough would be formally recognized as a town committed to climate action and emissions reduction by being in this program. And of course, there's a huge financial benefit as we would be in a position to qualify for grants to help support a smooth transition to net zero in the most cost-effective way. And I'd also like to point out that since, as of March of this year, there have been 35 different Massachusetts communities that have now become Climate Leader certified communities. So we would be just being an added community to that population, showing that Westborough also is taking steps towards emission reductions and sustainable initiatives. So just an overview quickly of what a decarbonization roadmap is. It's really a long-term planning guide as we try to reach that 2050 goal of being net zero and how are we going to get there as a town. It outlines different focus strategies on municipal and school buildings, things with electrification, energy efficiency projects within those buildings, and our municipal and school vehicles. But the fleet transition, all of that is under our ZEV policy. This roadmap is really focused on just the buildings. Different components of this roadmap include emissions inventory of all buildings, equipment replacement planning and timelines of when equipment could be replaced, cost-effective electrification ideas, and all of this is in line with capital planning that's existing already. And of course, just to point out that this is a non-binding document and committees retain all existing fiscal authority. It's purely just a helpful guiding document, nothing binding. This is a pie chart that is just overviewing Westborough's fiscal year 2022 baseline emissions with approximately 2,733 metric tons of CO2 emitted. We were kind of separating the vehicles out of this pie chart because, like I said, this is focusing on just total buildings in our town. So we can see the school buildings emitted the most at 48%, town buildings at 11%, and DPW facilities and operations at 5% only. So this is another chart just providing a closer look at on-site building emissions, so taking the vehicles out of that. Again, from fiscal year 2022, we can see the schools on the top, above that red dotted line, and they are contributing 75.6%, with the town focus buildings underneath at 18.8%, and other buildings and pumps contributing only about 5.6%. Fales and Hastings have those stars next to them only because Fales data was using the old Fales data. This was not reflective of the new Fales that's built today, and Hastings has zero on-site building emissions because they use geothermal. So that's a good thing to point out here. So the zero over time approach is something that this roadmap also nicely captures, which really is a design to achieve net zero carbon over a prolonged period of time. So rather than mandating immediate replacement, it aligns emission reduction projects with the natural capital cycles. So we aren't trying to do a bunch of projects all at once, but rather seeing where we are already planning to make these replacements, and does it make sense to replace with something that will also be emitting emission reductions, meeting those goals. So for example, we use trigger points to see when can those opportunities occur. So things like when equipment fails, or when a building is being renovated as an opportunity to step in, or when systems are scheduled to be replaced. And of course, early replacement of these functioning equipment is not required. It's purely just if it makes sense in that moment to do so. And on the left, there's a little calendar that illustrates how real planned capital projects can act as trigger points for evaluating when it makes sense to do a repair or replacement. An example of this would be the Forbes building HVAC replacement anticipated date is in 2039. That's just an opportunity for when we could decide if that makes sense in that moment to replace with something more sustainable in that instance. So that's basically how this whole roadmap was approached through this framework, the zero overtime approach. So with all of that being said, what does Climate Leaders actually get us? The funding opportunities. There's really these two main funding groups, all of which we'd be eligible for over $1 million. The first one is a technical support grant, and the much larger grant is called the Decarbonization Accelerator Grant. So the first one, you could receive up to $150,000, and this is the first grant you would apply for in this process. It really helps with project feasibility. So if you're deciding you already kind of have a big project in line, being able to get more information on engineering studies, audits, design plans, getting more in-depth cost estimates, that's really what this technical support grant would help cover the funds for. And then you'd use this technical support information when you apply for that larger decarbonization accelerator grant. And that one is up to $1 million. There is a 10% local match. But again, we're hoping that these projects we're doing are already projects that the town is trying to allocate funds, and it's matching with our capital plan. And those would be projects that could fund things like heat pump conversion, solar and battery storage, or larger energy efficiency upgrades. But really the main point of that grant is to significantly help reduce greenhouse gas emissions of either a single building or stacking a bunch of smaller projects within the town together. And again, all of this aligning with the decarb roadmap, which is in line with our capital plan as well. So just a quick timeline of where we're at now. Previously, the school committee was presented a similar presentation, and they voted at their last meeting to approve this roadmap and adopt it. Today, we're presenting to the select board, and if both committees are in agreement of this roadmap, then the earliest we could apply to be a part of this program would be actually June 30th of this year. If not, it could be December end of this year. And then we'd be eligible to start applying for first the Climate Leader Technical Support Grant, and then later on the larger Decarbonization Accelerator Grant. So really, the sooner we can get into this program, the sooner we could start getting access to these funds and helping to get projects done for the town. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great presentation. Thank you very much. Lots of other information in the packet, but I appreciate you distilling it down into pictures and bullet points. So thank you. I am supportive of this roadmap. Appreciate that it's non-binding, but it is a guiding document like others we've seen that I won't highlight here, that some of which don't relate to sustainability. So I think it builds on the trend and the work that the town has done so far. A couple things, and I'm not going to go into detail, but I would just ask that I was glad to hear you reference several times kind of this alignment with the capital expenditure and the planning committee and the work that's being done there. I just want to make sure that I think historically in the past, and this isn't specific to sustainable initiatives, but when there have been grants involved, they may not have been tracking in alignment. It sort of almost has been maybe off to the side with, well, we're going to kind of do this because we got grant money.
Right.
So I would like to see that process more tightly woven into what's going on, because there can be some benefits there, but it also makes sure we're not, kind of getting distracted from our planning process with maybe special initiatives. So that would be one thing. And again, not looking for a response there, but just an expectation. The other piece is I did notice in the packet, and you highlighted that on the slide when you called out several of the buildings. I did not see, I went back to last year's budget document, the capital expenditures, and then this year's. There were some where I don't see them on the capital expenditures plan, and the roadmap seems to suggest, the detailed document suggests that it is. So I would just make sure, and it might be a typo.
Yeah.
Actually, Christy and I talked about one on the Forbes window replacement. That's on last year's capital expenditure document, but somehow it didn't transfer over to this year's. So let's just make sure we're all singing from the same hymnal so that everyone kind of goes, yep, this is the plan. So, and then that sort of brought, when you mentioned like the Forbes building is something, I don't know if it's a chiller or some unit, whatever you said it was, is due to be replaced in 39. Again, I was looking quickly trying to follow. I didn't see that, so I don't know if that's just in some maintenance log, like this is sort of when it's going to run out. But so I think before we just have to be on the same page with these big expenditures and what we're talking about, much like we talked about transportation projects and other things. So I think you get the point. Okay,
Yeah.
great presentation.
you.
Thanks.
I have nothing additional. This is great. Supportive of it. I know the town's supportive of it, so.
Yeah, I didn't have any questions. It's a 35-page document, and I thought it was extremely well done, and I encourage people that are interested in this to get a copy and look at it, but it's non-binding. I mean, from a financial standpoint, so that I appreciate, but I am supportive of the effort, and I hope that the town can live up to this document. So thanks.
Thank you.
Layla, thank you very much. Terrific job tonight. So the first cutoff, as she mentioned, was for June 30th. So would then require a vote of this committee tonight if we wanted to. And I believe also then following this, there's another school board committee with the expectation that they would pass this.
I think
as
they've
well.
already approved.
They approved it.
Last
They
week,
already
right?
did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I saw they voted in the, or they, okay.
Follow the pictures. Come on.
There's
I'm
one
just
meeting
kidding.
and then the second one to vote on. Okay. Sorry.
Can I ask a clarifying question? You talked a lot about buildings. That was a focus today. I know the report itself talks about vehicles. That was not, but that is, just to be clear, that is, and we've talked a lot about the replacement process. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we can only purchase electric or only hybrid. There's criteria around that, but this does encapsulate that as part of reducing carbon emissions, right? This roadmap.
Yeah, that
Okay.
part is at the bottom,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would just say to highlight that when I was looking through it, it's things we've talked about that things that aren't readily available yet, like some of the things in heavy duty trucks and stuff. The hope is that down the road that those would be available today.
Yeah.
There just isn't an option for us to go to electrification or some other thing. Again, hitting what everyone said. I appreciate everything there. It is I was hoping you weren't going to go through the whole document tonight, so I really loved the summary and the presentation. The best thing for folks, and I think you started with it, is that it still goes through our regular process, and town meeting will need to vote for appropriations, and but this really allows us to hopefully help the taxpayers by making smart choices, but using other people's dollars to a large extent. So,
Exactly.
thank you.
Thank you.
And Sean, to your question though about, I know Patrick's not here tonight, so we don't have a full board to vote. He is a liaison to, right? He's not a voting member, right? He's a liaison to that.
No liaisons anymore.
Right.
Is voting?
He's voting.
He is a voting member. And he was part of the unanimous vote to support it. So therefore I sort of
Pretty
convey that.
confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable in making a motion if you're ready for that.
Yeah, thank you. And I would
Unless you
just,
have comments.
one other reminder was, so you mentioned this was the 6th step, correct? And I
Yeah.
believe step 5, the town took at annual town meeting, passing the specialized energy code. So
Yeah.
certainly this has historically been supported by town meeting as well. Yes, please.
Sure. So I would move to approve the Climate Leaders Municipal Decarbonization Roadmap as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments? All those in favor? Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
you.
Great job. Thanks. Yeah.
All right. Next, so item number 8 is the American Rescue Plan Act.
I believe we're still talking about this.
Finance director, and we're probably going to talk about it at least one more time.
Yeah, so we wanted to bring it to you now because I think you're going to start hearing more about it in the news. John will talk about it, but at the end of fiscal 26 is when, calendar year 26 is when all of the funds have to be expended. or our understanding is they would revert back to the federal government. So there are communities who have spent it, there are communities maybe that haven't, and so we just wanted to give you an update now before you start hearing about it, where Westborough's at.
And a reminder, they were all actually, decisions were actually made for those money by, it was December of 24, correct? So this has
Yeah.
been the last year and a half
Right.
trying to complete that.
I don't want to steal John's whole presentation. I think.
Sorry.
No, steal away. I will say that the name of this file is Not Ugly Presentation, because I created the ugliest presentation I think I ever have and gave it to Christy and said, fix this. And she said, this is terrible. So, yeah.
Did you really say that?
Yes. No.
It's like they like
She doesn't mince
pictures.
words
Make
with me,
make
so
a few words
hopefully
and lots of pictures.
We are winding down with the American Rescue Plan funds. We'll do a quick review of what it was, what projects we approved, where we stand in terms of the process of the projects, and hopefully in the winding down phase of the outstanding projects that are ongoing. So American Rescue Plan, otherwise known as ARPA, $362 billion in coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. So this was a program passed by the federal government to provide funds to communities in response to COVID for lost revenue, programs that incurred additional costs, and to mitigate the economic harm from the COVID pandemic. The town was awarded $5.7 million. The town chose to keep with the fund the interest that was accruing along with it. So we accrued another $340,000 in interest. There were towns that moved this directly into free cash. It was the opinion to keep it with the fund, as many other funds are, so that it would maintain the expenditure along with our ARPA funds. So the total available funds were just over $6 million. So the process. Once we were aware of the funds and we were understanding of what we could use them for, we put it out to department heads to submit requests and proposals, of which for the $5.7 million that we received over $14.5 million at the first round of requests. Those requests were reviewed by the finance team, and proposals assembled and recommendations to the Advisory Finance Committee. The Advisory Finance Committee then reviewed them and made recommendations to the Select Board as to which projects should be funded. Departments with awarded funds had to report certain thresholds to be reported to the federal government. So every year, initially there were quarterly reports, now it's yearly reports. The finance department, the town engaged with a consultant to help with us along the way, Clifton Larson Allen, to make sure that we were reporting to the federal government properly and that our uses were approved under what they understood to be the guidance to alleviate some of the liability that the town would have if we were not using the funds properly. In the whole scope of funds, the 5.7 was reasonably small compared to many other communities. We were able to stay under the threshold for revenue replacement, which made some of our reporting a bit easier. Any other requests or changes to awarded projects would have to be reapproved through the same process. Any money awarded but not used for the award was determined to fall back into a general pot, which would then be reapplied for. So I think we did 3 rounds of requests for proposals as we went along the path that then all went through the same review process to the finance team, to the Advisory Finance Committee, and then to the Select Board before any funding was chosen. Some of that included additional interest that was accumulating, as well as funds that weren't used under existing awards. The first deadline was that all funds needed to be contracted no later than December 31st of 2024. Then the next deadline, which is coming up, those funds must be spent and expended by December 31st, 2026. The town awarded a total of 29 projects, awarded funds, and it was determined and allowed by the government that as long as it was an approved project, any funds not
expended within that awarded project could go to another project as long as that project was contracted and awarded prior to the December 31st, 2024 deadline. So the town determined that it would use the lead service line, which is a much bigger project, and use that sort of as a catch-all for any excess funds that are available as these projects are concluded, or any funds were not contracted and committed by that deadline. So we'll just run through the departments and the completed projects without going through each and every one. You can see IT was awarded $27,500. They've completed all their projects. Good example is the phone system. They were awarded $18,000. They expended $17,691.99. So the net of that would have passed through to the lead service line. Community development, $405,000. Again, just to point one out, Piccadilly Brook Bridge. They were able to contract for the construction of the bridge, not the installation of the bridge. So that net amount went on to the lead service line. The police and public safety, this is both fire and police, had a number of different projects here, all which are complete, and you can see many expended all of the funds to which they were contracted and awarded. One that sticks out that was not was the public safety radios. One thing that I'll just mention as we go through this is I think department heads did a great job of looking for good economic management of these projects. You'll see that a lot came in under because they are good stewards of the finances for the town. They were not out to spend just because the funds were available. Human services and recreation, there were a number of projects within here that have closed out. DPW, one of the bigger recipients, the community center server cooling room was one of the projects that fell under their buildings. School department was the largest of the awards, and we were able to use that for some real infrastructure that we would have otherwise been using other funds, thus the revenue replacement. Projects that are still in process, the finance department service, this is the consultants that are being used. This is one exception to the December 31st, 2026. We're able to encumber these funds beyond that date to do the final closeout reporting to the federal government. Assessing field inspections, they're working on completing those now. We have data entry to be done, and as soon as our contractor completes that, we'll pay them the final payment. The DPW, they have their chlorine booster project, which is winding down as well. The Mass Works grant, there's just a small amount left there that will be, we'll have no problem expending. And then the lead service line, the initial award was $52,230, and on the next slide, you will see the cumulative there. And then youth and family services, translation services, they have not expended a lot of theirs. I've been in touch with them about submitting invoices, and hopefully we can run some of those down before closing that out. These are all the projects that passed monies on to the $52,529 that was approved. And so you can see we're adding to that. There was $3,782 that was balance and interest that had not been appropriated. The initial lead service line of $52,000, so we're adding over another $150,000 to the lead service line to a much larger project. So that is a welcome addition. In total, they've spent about 133 of that to the state. That's all I got.
I just want to add a couple of things. One is that after any interest earned after December 31st, 2024 is going as a general fund revenue, so is moved to free cash, so that we weren't continuing to grow uncommitted funds. The other thing I just wanted to mention is that I think that the town, particularly the Select Board and Finance Committee, should be really proud of how these were handled, because if you look around at some other communities, you might note that use of these funds on operational expenses have contributed to the need for overrides. Probably not directly, but it creates a structural deficit because they're one-time funds. We had two projects that did fund operational expenses, but we had a very deliberate incremental move onto the budget that was for firefighters and police officers. And so we're at a point now where it's fully on the budget. So we eliminated that structural deficit. So I think that's something we talk about all the time with free cash, something that I think became an issue in some communities related to ARPA.
Thank you, Christy. Yes, Ian.
I think another answer, but just to be clear, so the lead service line, you said they've expended some of it, but even though we've pushed a lot of stuff there, they have to expend all that money, or else
Correct.
what they don't spend would go back to the federal government, as we understand it.
Correct. Well, the way the reporting works for the federal government is you need to make sure that you've expended the funds to which you were awarded. So we reported to them the 5.7 million, and but from a management perspective, as we've maintained this, like with the 2024 deadline, it's our intention to continue that. The funds must be expended by the end of 26.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Great.
Great presentation.
John, thank you very much. Well done.
Hey, it looked beautiful.
Yeah, John, that was awesome.
I can take zero credit
No,
for that. If
no,
I
this is really, I mean, this is an example of a really clear, told the story and makes it easy to follow. Thank you.
It was previously on the front page of the town website under Spotlight. It's sort of come a little bit out of the spotlight, I think. But if folks want to see all the projects, what was awarded, what's been expended, that full breakdown is on the finance department website.
Thanks.
I feel like I should stand here because you guys are so far ahead of people.
No.
Oh, moving on.
Thank you.
Time is up.
Great. Next, item number 9 is Active Transportation and Safety Committee next steps. The meeting before last, we discussed the Active Transportation and Safety Committee. They were here to go over their accomplishments for this past year. And then we talked a little bit about making updates based on sort of a review since 3 or 4 years ago when the responsibilities of the committee were first established. And so myself, our vice chair, and our town manager walked through that and also talked with members of the committee to sort of come up with sort of new guidelines and responsibilities for the committee, and here to sort of discuss those today and get feedback from them and potentially have a vote. So with that, I don't know if folks want to just go through.
Would it be possible to, I think it's hard if we're reading this, can we pull up the final? Christy, could you show that? Or proposed final, not the red line? Thank
And
you.
this would be the one that came with, in conjunction with the chair and vice chair of ATSC, our chair and vice chair, and yourself. Right. It's the one after that.
The one after.
There are multiple iterations.
It is on,
Is it not? It's not showing the markup.
it's just the final one. I didn't see a page.
Did you
on
create
mine.
a second?
Yeah, 80, 88. Yeah.
No, I don't think we had
Yep.
a marked up version
Oh,
in
you
our
didn't.
packet.
So this is the one that was the combination.
it.
Yep.
You would email
Okay,
this.
so we're thinking
Oh,
page
okay.
88.
88.
Yeah, it looks like it. That's the.
So is this it?
Page 88.
Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you tell us.
Totally is.
Hey.
There we go.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
I think, oh,
Oh.
Did you see it?
Hold on.
It's a quick meeting.
why is that? It's your thing.
It's laptop 3.
There you go. We don't, I mean, I think we all have it, so if it's there.
Maybe up here for.
There we go. Well, it's on the screen. That's okay. I mean, folks in the audience can see it. Westborough TV can pull it up, I think. We just get a heads up.
Okay, thumbs up.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very
Thanks.
much. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, so I think a little bit of background. So some of our priorities when updating this document were it referenced the planning board in the original referenced the planning board in multiple locations, and really the planning board is an independently elected board from the select board. The select board has no authority over the planning board, and in reviewing it, I think there was a very specific decision made to sort of focus this on the select board and the select board as the proponent of the active transportation and safety committee as sort of being the authority that appoints them, but they also specifically report to and would work through to accomplish their objectives. And I think that's indicated throughout the updated responsibilities here. Are there items? I don't know if you.
Yeah, I think that's to follow up on that. That may result in some duties that this committee, the ATSC is used to performing historically that they may not be charged with anymore, because we're really trying to delineate this committee as a support committee for the select board. And it's not within our, I don't want to say scope, but it's not within our authority to,
Exactly.
to tell the planning board that they have to listen to this committee. So, right.
Yes. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just thoughts on it. I do appreciate, I think as I said before, of the committee leadership working with our board leadership. I do concur that basically what was put in here really modified in such a way that it really kind of falls under our kind of leadership and our authority, so that we can monitor and ensure this comes in, get regular feedback from the committee as we move things forward. So I'm supportive of what was out there. As we've talked in prior meetings, if things were different, I could see this being something that would work more closely with the planning department, and especially the assistant town planner. But just to echo what others have said, we can't do that, and I think that's why these modifications are necessary. We have talked as well as a board about potentially a charter review committee. We did suggested at one point of maybe changing kind of the kind of appointment process, or the kind of where the director of planning was, and also the potential of bringing to town meeting a change in the planning board from being an elected to an appointed, as many communities have. It did not move forward, but if that ever did move forward through charter review, I could see this evolving over time to be, a line still under the select board, but maybe delegating to some of the responsibilities to those areas, because it is an area that's covered under planning. But right now, it doesn't make any sense for us to either say, or we can't basically tell the planning board, here it is, and, you oversee it, or, I think there's valuable things done by this committee for us to say, no, we're going to dissolve this committee, and then tell the planning board that they should create this committee under their authority. Again, we can't tell them to do that. And to me, this is the work that they're doing that they presented the last time. There are an important role that they play. This changes that are proposed here, in my view, modify it so it is under our scope and review. And I am supportive of that, but would also say if things change in the future, that I'd be open to for discussions with the planning department and planning board.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I don't think dissolving the committee really makes sense, because there would be, if it were reformed under the planning board, there would be the same problem, but in reverse, right? Like we would be looking for advice that we're going to get from this committee on whether it be complete streets or you name it, that are not under the authority of the planning board. And if this committee were a subcommittee of the planning board, they wouldn't be able to give us direction unless we invited it. So it again, it's up to the planning board what they want to do, whether they want to do their own committee or, we can't tell them what to do. But from our standpoint, this clearly delineates the charge for this committee as a subcommittee of the select board.
Yeah, I would just say, sort of one other thought, and thank you to, so we did meet, it was last Tuesday, was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. And in addition to the three of us, Ellen Gould, the chair of the committee, and Julie Squires also joined us to sort of help us talk through this draft. And they made some good recommendations. I believe it was safe route to schools we had left out, I
Right.
think, and they had us add that. So it was a good understanding of some of the things that they are actively working on that makes sense and that we could have some discussion in. So, comfortable, I think, with as a group where we came to with the draft. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, so I love the changes that we've made. I was very much on the fence as to the future of this committee. I think the restructuring, actually, I'm really excited about it. I think it's a refresh and a restart for this committee to have clear charge and clear alignment with this board. The one question I have is, historically, the assistant town planner has been supporting this committee and acting really as a very, I guess I would say, sort of strong liaison back in through the town departments, looking to our town manager. How do we envision that working now, to the point of the comments made earlier about, kind of us saying this is our committee, but, we're all one town. So I even, quite frankly, I don't even like this conversation in many respects, because we're one town and transportation is very much aligned there, but being what it is. Because I want to make sure that they have the support that they need to be successful, particularly because it's a volunteer board and there's a lot that happens with the paid professionals that we have here, and kind of being able to integrate with them.
As we talked with Julie and Ellen, this, even though this takes the planning board out of the duties and responsibilities that are approved by the select board, it doesn't mean that there's sort of clear lines of communication or anything like that. I would expect that the assistant town planner would still have information to offer to this committee. There's still some synergy, obviously, with her role as transportation planner and this committee. But the actual mission and duties are clarified to fully fall under the select board. So I don't expect that the assistant town planner will necessarily staff the committee, but I'm sure there'll be communication. I know that the committee, like other committees, is certainly capable of meeting without full-time staff.
Yep.
Understanding, I think Mark and Sean made clear that they can work through our office if they have needs of staff.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that they feel supported, but to your point, we have lots of other committees that operate without supportive staff, for minutes and that sort of thing. Ellen's done a great job as chair for several years now. And I like the all of the points. I like the idea that the, TIP projects, which are usually initiated by DPW, that is following, through the select board because of that makes sense. It's not sort of hanging out there. So that reporting and that input comes through us as a board, as opposed to kind of maybe potentially being lost in translation or conveyance to the planning board because it's its own separate committee. So I think it gives it more heft. If they're making a recommendation to us, the key to that committee, and I know that they've lived through this a lot, is making sure that that the process makes sure that they're in the loop to know when any sort of projects are coming up that they would be weighing in on, and they have enough time to meet, which may require some off-cycle meetings so that they then can provide input to us, whether it's in writing or a presentation to the board, however that happens. So I don't want to make any sausage here, but I just want to make sure that I think our in the past, the lack of success, I think a lot of it has come down to sort of communication and understanding. And I really think that this is a great restart for everyone. And I just want to make sure that we collectively support this committee, and I'm excited. So.
Go ahead.
So I just said one thing because I agree with some of the things you said there. One important to me, and actually, if we can scroll up to number 9, which is the last one there, I think to me was very important because it's something we've talked about a lot and received comments on, which basically, if you read it, it's basically with approval from the select board, support active transportation projects, including development of BWAL. This may include support for grant applications, plan review, or community engagement, but very clearly that it's approval from us here. And I think that's important because it's been something that has come to us through open forum and other comments, and this really, the buck stops with us here. And, we guide that and, move that forward under our authority, like some of the other ones here. But I just wanted to call this one out especially because I know it has been part of a lot of discussions that we've had.
Yeah, so. and I think, Ian, just to tag on to that, I think this is, I want that committee to work as an effective committee. I think to me, this is a guiding document. And so using that as one particular example, if there are active transportation projects that, tie into, let's say we hear someone hears something from Northborough that they're going to be doing something, bringing that back through a process to inform the board, this is what's happening, and we're recommending X, Y, and Z is what I expect how this relationship will work going forward. Not that committee saying, we heard something and now we're running with it, because that doesn't set them up for success, and it doesn't set the town up for success.
It's also very similar to how Sustainable Westborough operates.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think one of the frustrations the committee has expressed is that they're either not being listened to or not being heard, and it's our charge as a board to make sure that we're making the time for them, that if a transportation project comes in to that town manager's office is funneling that information to them in time for them to get back to us with a recommendation.
Correct.
And that we're listening to them, right?
Yep.
Like we need to, it's a two-way street, and we need to support them as much as they support us.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Motion? Yeah.
So this is going to get cleaned up just a little bit, right? With the date on it, right? Not the yellow and all that stuff.
Oh, I was just trying to make it easier for you all to follow in your
No,
packet.
it's fine. But the final that the
We
committee that we approve would be.
It'll go on the website.
Yeah. We'll move
You
the
can say,
draft and all that
you
stuff.
can say without the
Yes.
stuff in yellow,
Yeah.
if you would like. to.
Okay, so I would move to approve the amended mission of the Active Transportation Safety Committee as presented.
Second.
All right. Any final comments? All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you very much. Next, item number 10, annual appointments and reappointments. Sorry. This being our last meeting of the fiscal year, I think we had a bunch last time, and I believe we have
Do you
a
want
bunch
to
more
make a
this
motion?
time. Yes.
Do we
Yeah,
need-
yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so.
Can I ask
yep.
just because my wife is one of the appointments, could you put that separately? I will
Sure.
recuse myself
Yep.
from that.
Yep. So looks like they are all the same dates except for one. So, okay.
Oh, 2.
Oh, two. Okay. How about I do them in groups? Let's do them by committee. All right. So I would move to appoint Julie Squires and Don Byrne to the Active Transportation and Safety Committee for a term to start July 1, 2026, and a term to end June 30, 2029.
Second.
Okay. Comments? All those in favor? 4-0. One present.
All right. I would move to appoint Beth Ann Travis to the Recreation Commission, term to start July 1, 2026, and term to end June 30, 2029.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Okay. I would move to appoint Bradbury H. Huff to the Veterans Advisory Board for a term to start July 1, 2026, and a term to end June 30, 2027.
Second.
All those in favor? 0.
I would move to appoint Kate Storm to the Affordable Housing Trust, term to start July 1, 2026, term ending June 30, 2028.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
I would move to appoint Sandra Coker to the Economic Development Committee, term to start July 1, 2026, term to end June 30, 2029.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
And Barbara Walls to appoint Barbara Walls to be Treasurer Collector, a term to start July 1, 2026, term ending June 30, 2029.
Just to say this is concurrence of a manager approved.
What he said. Yes. Thank you.
And I would second that then.
All right.
All those in favor? Thank you.
Okay.
I will recuse myself from this one.
All right. You don't have to go far. I would move to appoint Maureen Johnson to the Cultural Council, term to start July 1, 2026, term ending June 30, 2029.
Second.
All those in favor? 3-0.
Sean, do you need an
Okay.
appointment for the Youth Commission?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, up above.
I'll move to appoint Cameron Kaufman and Victoria Juguna to the Youth Commission as student members with a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you very much, and thank you for all those willing to serve on our town boards.
Great.
With that, we move on to item number 11, which is a Regional Emergency Communications Center. We have a draft document. I think there've been some comments.
We're
so
gonna
move
pass over.
this.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put on a future
I
agenda.
could have just said pass over.
Sorry,
I
sorry.
was talking a little too much. So we're going to pass over this until our next meeting. It is not urgent. So on to item 12, amend the open forum policy. And seeing as it was just passed at our last meeting, people may be surprised to see this. And I think we just received some feedback. And so there, I would call this wordsmithing. The document. I think some of the feedback we'd gotten was throughout the document, it specifically stated the select board, when really we are saying this is pertinent to all boards, those who also report to the select board, or the town manager as their appointing authority. So those were primarily the changes here. Christy, I don't know if you had a further.
Yeah, I was just going to say that when you approved the policy at your June 9th meeting, we subsequently sent it out to all boards and committees that are appointed by select board and town manager. And that was one of we did get feedback from one individual who noted that. So we figured let's bring it back and clean it up. We also sent it to the finance committee, the school committee, the library board of trustees, and the planning board for their consideration of adoption or some version thereof. So,
Did we send it to the AFC?
yes.
Okay.
Did we provide them the background?
I was just good. Thank you.
Sorry,
No, great question.
Yes.
on the policy. Thank you.
So I don't know, any questions, any?
No, it's not changing anything. It's
Not
just
from our-
clarifying it from our side. It's
Yeah, so we changed everywhere that said select board, we changed it to board. And then we just had to update number at the end under CA. It says the board may refer the matter to the town manager. So we added or the board supporting staff. So it was really just to make it applicable, more clearly applicable to every board and committee that would potentially follow it.
All matters are not referred to the town manager. It's referred to-
Yeah, I mean, no comments really on the policy. I'm glad we've made the changes. It was a good catch. I'm glad for the resident who had pointed out the connection back to our town documents. And, we can't enforce this on any other board that's, elected and has its own, I guess, governing body and guidelines, library trustees, school committee, planning board, etc. I would just, for any of those that are resistant to doing that, I would just ask them to take a long look in the mirror and look to their fellow committee members and ask why. Because we serve at the vote of the public, and to not create a format where people can come and provide comments in open forum, either virtually or in person, to me really does no service to the point of public service. So I would just ask folks to take that into strong consideration and adopt it, because this is a do no harm type of policy. It's all good.
I just want to add, so I know I did follow up with the planning board after their last meeting, and I know they had one outstanding question for town council, which I know has been answered, so I expect it'll be on their next agenda, just based on my discussion.
Would you mind, could I ask through the chair that you keep us updated on those that aren't under our control that we mentioned, to see
Sure.
that they're adopting it, if they have adopted it?
I believe yes, I will definitely do that. I believe some of them already provide public comment. I don't think that they have a policy, so we'll follow up with them.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and we did too. There were just some things that we even learned through that process that
Absolutely.
we weren't.
We had
Yeah.
to modify what we
Yeah.
did.
I'm learning new stuff every day.
You got a lot to learn.
Nope. And really, I mean, one thing I've learned in this process, I think every board I've ever been on is had open forum. I didn't know the original basis for the creation of open forum. It is a town bylaw. Town meeting decided that committees should have open forums. It's not a state mandate. It is the town determined this. And please correct me if I'm shading this incorrectly, but
It's in the charter.
yeah, it's in our
but
town
yeah.
charter. So, so the
Which guides all of
residents
us.
Yes.
of Westborough decided this is what they want. So, okay.
I will move to approve the amended open forum policy as presented.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion?
Just ensure that we get this updated one in the proper places so people have the new policy.
Yeah. All right. All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you. Okay. Item number 13, request to approve the meeting minutes of June 5th and June 9th.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor? 4-0.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Amanda.
Amanda.
Fantastic.
Thorough
What's that?
as always.
Love referencing the documents used as well. Thank you for that addition.
So number 14 here, our town manager report.
We have been notified that Harry's Restaurant is celebrating their 80th anniversary. Since opening in 1946, Harry's Restaurant has been a cherished fixture in the Westborough community, serving generations of residents and visitors. The Select Board extends its congratulations to Harry's Restaurant on this remarkable milestone in its 80 years of service to the community. Vice Chair Mark Silverberg and Shelby Marshall will attend the restaurant's 80th anniversary celebration on June 25th to present a proclamation. The 2026 Civic Leadership Academy application. Applications are open. It's going to be a 9-week program running from September 15th through November 10th. Residents will take an in-depth look at town government, opportunities to engage with town leaders and departments, and insight into serving on local boards and committees. Classes will be held on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 at various locations throughout Westborough, with one class meeting on Monday, October 26th. Participants will be recognized at a graduation ceremony during the November 17th, 2026 Select Board meeting. Applications are due by noon on September 4th.
How many people, how many?
15.
15.
Right, 15.
And they seek that application through your office.
Yes, and it's also been posted. The police department has observed an increase in motor vehicle break-ins in recent weeks. They're asking residents to take a simple but important step to help prevent becoming a victim. Please remember to lock your vehicles and remove valuables to keep them out of sight. Items such as wallets, purses, electronics, keys, and loose change can attract thieves even when left inside a locked vehicle. Whenever possible, park in well-lit areas and report any suspicious activity to the police department immediately. By reducing opportunities for theft, we can work together to decrease these incidents and protect our community. The department is actively investigating these crimes and remains committed to identifying and apprehending those responsible. Additionally, attached is a report from the police department related to focused rotary enforcement in the month of May. So you have that attached to the report.
Christy, can I ask a quick question about that? Not the details of the report. Could this report be shared, or is it automatically with like the planning board and then the future planning director, just given all the conversation we just had about the downtown design? And
Sure. Yeah, we can send it to them. It'll also go out with the town manager report.
So, I'm sorry, but that was, that report was related to focused rotary enforcement. So the police department did focused on the rotary
Yep.
last month.
Yep.
That's not going to necessarily continue every month.
I don't
Or are they going to generate this report every month?
I don't know if they are or aren't, but it's interesting data, and it's just a data point I just wouldn't want to be lost. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Well, I do agree with that.
The Otis Street Corridor project, which you heard about earlier today. Status updates are posted periodically on the town's transportation webpage, so residents with questions are encouraged to visit that page. That's under the planning department, that page. The active transportation plan officially kicked off on June 16th. Throughout the summer, the project team will conduct an analysis of existing conditions, including sidewalks, bike facilities, trails, and other transportation infrastructure. Opportunities for public engagement will begin this fall and will include activities such as a community walk and bike tour to gather feedback and help shape the plan's recommendations. Community outreach on June 17th, Friends of Bewalt hosted an informational meeting for residents of the Arrive Apartments community. Planning department staff provided an overview of the Otis Street Corridor project, while Friends of Bewalt shared information about Section 1 of Bewalt Trail, which traverses this area. The meeting provided an opportunity for residents to learn about the ongoing project and trail initiatives and ask questions. The Department of Public Works paving along West Main Street is complete and nearing completion in the Linda Carolyn neighborhood. A total of 2.2 miles. Bowman Lane paving expected in July, which will wrap up the culvert project. Ruggles Street sewer project is ongoing. Otis Street Corridor project is underway. Lining of clay sewer pipe in the West Street area is complete, 5,000 feet. The installation of PFAS treatment capability at the Oak Street treatment plant is substantially complete, and the new treatment process will be introduced to the water system this summer. The DPW conducted its annual Golden Shovel event, a competitive training event that focuses on basic skills of a public works professional. Tasks included chainsaw and jackhammer use, plow operations, pre-operation vehicle inspections, first aid, and proper use of personal protective equipment. Additionally, the department completed emergency spill response training at the reservoir. And finally, central Massachusetts remains in a significant drought despite some recent rain. Conserving water by minimizing outdoor watering and quickly fixing leaking toilets and faucets makes a difference.
Thank you.
Christy, thank you very much. With that, we move to issues and correspondence of the select board. Anybody?
I'll start off.
Sure.
I have nothing.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to the Westborough High School boys tennis team for Did I steal your thunder?
It's my only update.
Oh, well, you
Right.
well planned.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
Should have jumped
You
in.
might have additional details, so please, Mark.
No, I don't have it. Go ahead.
They
Finish
won
it.
the state championship.
I know.
Great job. Congratulations to them, and wishing all the students the last day of school today. So have a safe and fun and summer.
Can I just add to that, just as a reminder, with the last day of school, the work on the high school is going to begin. So we did get a call earlier today that they'll be vacuuming rocks off the roof, and so that there could be some noise associated with that.
Starting right away, just like they said.
Yeah.
So now you have nothing? Or?
No, I just wanted to let the board know I started that Mass Housing Leadership Academy that I signed up for.
At Jack's Abbey?
There was a kickoff event at
Oh.
Jack's Abbey, but then there was also the initial class Zoom meeting. And I think it's going to be very helpful for my role on the Affordable Housing Trust and the Community Preservation Committee, as well as hopefully some of the decisions that we make, I'll be able to weigh on that expertise as the class goes.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks. That's great.
Quickly, Library Building Committee meeting has met since our last meeting. Project still on target. I think a month ago I'd mentioned that there had been some concerns about the roofer that had been selected was a little bit behind in their work, but they have been actively catching up. And so project is still on target for early September completion with moving out of the community center, sometime around then, September, early October. So still effective.
On budget?
I forgot one
Yes.
thing. I just
Yes.
wanted
And
to.
thank you, and on budget, yes.
I know our next meeting is July 21st. I may not be able to make that. I am going to be out of state, and I hope to make it by Zoom, but it all depends on a schedule that hasn't been released yet. So as soon as I know, I'll let the board know, and I just wanted to wish you all a happy and safe 4th of July.
Thank you. Thank you. And look forward to seeing everybody on Friday.
Yes.
So no executive session this evening. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you. Thank you, Westborough TV. Have a good night.
Thank you, Chair.